event when you've got to give us the biggest round of applause you've ever done in your life. Now, it's impossible to underestimate Jerry Delia's influence on the Coventry music scene. It was his vision and stroke of genius that formed the Specials and indeed the Two-Tone record label. In 1984, his inspirational song Nelson Mandela helped to highlight the plight of the imprisoned Mandela to the world like nobody else could. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a true definition of a legend. You give him a massive round of applause, Jerry Delia!
Right, thank you very much. I've got a joke first. It's not funny, but I'll get it over with. I didn't think I had enough teeth to get a plaque. Come on. That came courtesy of John Shipley, like a few of my other ideas. Where is he? John Shipley is one person I like to thank. How
do you get in?
Yeah, I want to thank Pete Chambers especially, who has done all this work for nothing. He's put all this together. I was really genuinely quite touched when I came here today, because it's just amazing that this is all still going on 30 years later, and Pete has done so much work all for nothing. I don't know why he does it, but I really like to thank him from the bottom of my heart. And I think I've got my goodie bag. There's a t-shirt for Pete, which has some of my original designs for Two-Tone on the back. And I think that should fit him. And there's a smaller one, a smaller version for the museum. It's got the original artwork of Two-Tone on the front as well. There you go, that was a limited edition. Yeah, what else? No, I'm alright. And for the museum, this was the original poster that we got printed very cheap for Gangsters. And the selector. Alright. Now, what shall I do? Oh yeah. I've also, for Pete, I've got the ultimate collector's item, right? Now, everybody knows about, everyone's seen this, right? This is the cover that we rubber stamped for the original Specials, Gangsters and the Selector, and I think Neil probably stamped. But, especially for Pete, I have got the ultimate collector's item. It's one of these sleeves from the same batch which we didn't stamp.
Priceless. It's got Jerry's DNA on it.
You can put that in the museum.
It's got to be stamped.
Anyway,
what's next now? Moving swiftly on. This is very, very rare, and it's not many people know about this. I've got to say that there have been a few kind of things said about the original days of Two-Tone, which haven't been quite as accurate as they should have been. And this is the real truth, and this is a photo of the band that Ray King, Neil Davis and myself were in. Ray's band, Night Train.
Your band?
It wasn't my band, it was yours. Anyway, you can see there Neil Davis, myself and Ray King, so it's all true. And this is the logo I designed for them. No one's ever seen these photos before.
wow.
Thank you.
There's only one of those in, and I'm going to donate that to Pete for the museum. There you go. There's one other in existence. I'll have to get this one copied. I don't know who to thank. I'd like to thank everyone. I'd really like to thank my old mate Neil Davis, because we went around his flat, we did demo tapes, I wrote songs and recorded them on his 4-track tape recorder, including Jay Walker and what was it called? Look. But anyway, it became nightclub in the end. It was, yeah. And I recorded him on Neil's tape recorder, and you know, a lot of things came from that. And he's my old mate, so let's have a big round of applause for Neil Davis. And it's great. It really is great to get this recognition because, you know, obviously Neil was the main man for the selector. I was the main man for the specials. We've both been left out now, but but it's great to get the recognition because Neil deserves that as well for the selector. He wrote the songs and he put the whole thing together, the same as I did with the specials. So give Neil his due. Give Neil his due. Give Neil my due.
Respect!
And thank you, and also the great Ray King who brought us both together in the first place.
Kingmaker!
And the last we had I couldn't tell you about, I'm trying to think. But yeah, this was the first time I ever played reggae was with Ray, so...
Yes, sir.
Hey Neville, here comes trouble. Trevor, alright. I was going to thank this man here as well. Come here, Trevor. I'm going to thank everyone from Two Tone in a minute, but our roadies, Trevor and Rex, and as it happens, Neville was also our roadie when he started. So I'd like to thank Trevor and Rex especially, and Neville of course, who obviously Neville moved from roadie up a slot.
The slot.
But Trevor and Rex were there from the beginning.
Chief Roadie.
Trevor and Rex were there from the beginning, so I'd like to thank Trevor, especially Trevor, and especially Rex.
I'd like to thank Jeremy because I saw the world. Respect, Lord.
And it's great that I've come down today. It's great that Neville's here. It's really great. Thanks, Neville, for coming down. And yeah, it's a good job you missed the bit before you came in. But, he's nearly as late as me. I thought I was the latest man on earth. But anyway, okay. And I'd like to thank, as I say, Ray brought me and Neville together. Me and Neil together, and the specials and Two Tone sort of came from that eventually. We had a very wonderful trip to Tunisia with Ray, with a promoter who had the name Johnny Toogood. Ray told us that you could trust this guy. Why would you trust someone called Johnny Toogood, Ray?
Johnny Too Bad was the name of a song.
I know Johnny Too Bad, but you know, Johnny Toogood. Anyway, so we went to Tunisia.
Too good to be true.
And Ray said, I can remember sitting there and we had some of this food and Ray said, don't eat the pork. Whatever you do, don't eat the pork. And I didn't believe him. I don't know whether it was a religious thing or whatever, but I ate the pork and I got ill. And I got very ill. And I got iller and iller. But we had to carry on. But anyway, I went in the doctor there in Tunisia, and he said, I'm going to give you what I thought was he said, I'm going to give you a little shock. And I thought he was going to give me an electric shock. He actually said shot. And I ran out of the studio. Anyway, I was ill. We came back. We didn't get paid. What else did happen? We got very sunburned. Oh, the customs. What happened in the customs, right?
As we were coming, they looked to search us. And I said, don't search me because I'm a British subject, but he is a foreigner. And he searched him. And he was searched.
Yeah, but I always demand a strip search when I go through customs. But anyway, so yeah, no, another thing I remember there, when we went to Heathrow, sorry, I hope I'm not boring you, but as we got there, we were just arriving. I don't know if you remember this. We were just arriving there. I hadn't been on a flight. Well, I'd only flown once before in my life, and this plane came down on fire. The engine was on fire, and the plane landed. And when we got there, all these people being led off the plane. There were fire engines, ambulance. You don't look happy. And the fire engine, anyway, all these people being led off the plane. I don't know if Ray remembers this. Anyway, that all happened. Then when we came back, we caught this plane in Tunisia, and we took off, and we were flying over the desert, and suddenly the pilot said, we got a problem in the jet. And this had made us nervous anyway, but we landed in a tiny airport in the desert with a little hut. I'm not kidding, the pilot got out of the plane and he had a screwdriver and he climbed up a ladder and he started messing about in the jet engine. Yeah, in the jet engine with the screwdriver. And he came back and he said, while we were flying, the plane kept going boom, boom, and shaking like this. And he came back to this little tiny hut in the middle of the desert and said, well, I'm really sorry guys, there's a fault with the engine. We're going to have to fly to Libya to get it fixed. And we all got back in the plane and took off and boom, boom, boom. Anyway. Right, so there we go. Boring stories from the past.
When we were coming, there were two jet planes, the fighter planes, and they came and he climbed, and then they told him to come down, and they bring us back right down to earth when we were coming.
Yeah, we had fighter planes, and I don't know, it was like some sort of weird nightmare, the whole trip.
I know they had night train on the train, so they wanted us to play something for them.
Yeah, I knew Ray was a superstar, but I didn't think he had fighter planes as an escort. I mean, motorbike outriders, definitely. But anyway, I'm ranting and raving now. Who else am I going to thank? All the Coventry bands at the time, the Selector, the Hard Top 22, which was a reggae band, Pharaoh's Kingdom, which was Ray's band, Night Trains, Earthbound, Squad, Wild Boys. Hard Top 22, right, yeah, they were a reggae band. After I was with Ray, I played with a reggae band called Hard Top 22 with H and Charlie and can't remember. But anyway, what? Chris Christie. Anyway, possibly Silver. No, I don't think. No, H. Anyway, the only reason they had me in this band, I'm convinced to this day, and this is what the whole of the two-tone empire was built on, was the fact, one fact alone, and that was the fact that I had a soldering iron.
Soldering.
It's true, Ray. Admit it. There were no jack plugs or jack leads in Coventry at that time that worked. Trust me, there wasn't one in the whole city that worked, and we used to spend our Saturday evening before going up the Red House tearing around in Charlie's old banger trying to find a jack lead that worked. But I had a soldering iron, and they all loved me. They accepted me into the community because I had a soldering iron. That's all it was, and that's what Two Tones built on. I don't tell a lie. Right, okay, I'd like to thank H from that band who showed me the reggae lick on the keyboard, the sort of African thing where you play the organ like the congas, which is a very important piece of cultural crossover. And yeah, I was just going to say that as well. I'd also like to thank poor old Desmond, who didn't really... He took the attitude, he got confused because he sort of thought we were stealing black people's culture. And he might have had a point, but he got very upset, and it's a very sad story. But you know, I'd like to thank Desmond anyway. And
guess everybody give Desmond.
Yeah. Yeah. So he lost the plot. A few people have lost the plot down the two-tone road. But yeah, I think that's about it. I hope I haven't bored you. I'd like to thank Pete again and thank everybody. And it really was, I am genuinely touched that this is all still going on. So thank you very much, and thanks to Ray. Oh, that's the other thing. When Pete's finished with these bales, can I have them for my orchestra, please?
You have to unveil it now, Jerry.
Take your veil off.
How does one